Today's topic is very, very sensitive. How do you deal with a tenant who has died in your property that you manage? Now, I'm really, really sorry for your loss. This is a really sensitive time, obviously, for you and your staff members, if you have staff members, and for the family and friends who has lost a loved one. I have experienced this working with other property managers whose tenants have died. So I'm going to give you a few of the information that I have learned from this experience and how best to handle it in your property business. Let's dive in. Now, there are three things that we need to look at when it comes to trying to get the property back from the deceased tenant. So the first thing we have to assess is, how did the person die? How was you notified? Did the person die under suspicious circumstances? Did they die in the property? Did they die outside the property? We need to obviously assess that in order to work out, who's got keys, how do we get inside the property. Then you need to ascertain as to the type of contract that the deceased tenant is in. Are they currently in the contract? Like, has it expired? Are they still 6 months to go before the expiry of the tenancy, or 1 month, or what have you? Or are they in a periodic tenancy where the tenancy is now on a rolling month by month or week by week, depending on the kind of contract that you gave them? And finally, with that section, do they have a partner? Is it a joint tenancy, or is a tenancy just as a single occupancy? Because it makes a difference, especially if it's in a house of multiple occupation. They usually just rent a room, and there's obviously other people in the property. So we need to take all those things into consideration. I won't necessarily give you details of how to go about getting the property back, because there's specific laws for that, and the laws change depending on where you are in the world. I'm based in England, so I can only give you information about England, but Wales and Scotland, they're going to be having different laws, so I'm going to leave the lawyers to deal with that. I'm going to put a link at the bottom of this video with details of the Association of Residential Letting Agents, who give us quite a lot of information about how to deal with a tenant that has passed away. Now, it seems extremely morbid to say this, but we should prepare for every eventuality before a tenant even moves into a property. So we need to make sure that we get all of the tenant's next of kin information for every single tenant that you have. If you haven't already done that, you need to get a next of kin for each tenant that you have in the property. Whether the next of kin is another country, down the road, next door, wherever the next of kin is, you need to get at least one person with their home address, their telephone number, their email address, their landline, whatever communication you can get. Ideally, two is better than one, because sometimes someone may change their telephone number or change their email address, and then next of kin information is gone. So I would suggest you update someone's next of kin on an annual basis. I would suggest, if you have a tenancy that is going to be approximately 1 year or longer, that you check on your tenants probably about 3 times a year, or every 6 months. So January, June, and December. And the only reason I'm saying that is because there has been a few situations in the news here in the UK where a person has lived in a property and they died, and literally there wasn't even any, without going into disgusting detail, but there wasn't really much left of the person to even identify apart from bones, because nobody had checked in on this person. Nobody had phone, nobody had gone to visit, nobody knocked on the door, the neighbors smelled something funny, and that was it. These people had died in the property for over a year, 2 years, 3 years. Sometimes these people have been deceased, and because some of them were getting their rent paid by the council, the money would just keep getting paid by the council, and obviously they must have their bank account set up in a specific way where all their bills were coming out of one bank account, so all their bills were being paid, gas, electric, water, everything was still being paid, and this person had deceased in the property. So let's not make that happen for us. Let's make sure we check up on our tenants, because even if they become troublemakers or whatever, we need to make sure that we've checked on our tenants and make sure that they're safe and they're well. If anything that COVID has taught us, there's nothing wrong with being neighbourly. Obviously, we're all in business, we're not a charity, but we're still human. We have to be adding the human touch here. Now, when a person has passed away, when your tenant has deceased, you have to keep all lines of communication open with the family, regardless of what kind of problems this tenant may have caused, or if they were absolutely fantastic person. When you've contacted their next of kin, it's going to be a very sensitive situation, especially if you're the person telling them that their person that they loved has died. We have to be extremely sensitive in this situation. Sometimes, you know, the person's family could contact you, depending on where they died, and let you know. Either way, we need to keep the lines of communication extremely open so that we can, you know, get around getting the tenancy surrendered as soon as possible. Obviously, we've got to go through the right legal channels, and, you know, giving them back their deposit and everything like that. But as long as we, you know, communicate with them, you ask them how everything is going, is there anything you can do to help? Sometimes there's absolutely nothing you can do to help. Sometimes a person may just even want a, you know, a listening ear, just, you know, someone that knew them. They just want someone to talk to. It may be hard because obviously you're not a counselor, you're a property manager, but at the end of the day, you know, this is a loved one, someone who's died, and we have to be as considerate and as understanding as possible. Now, from a landlord's perspective, obviously you're managing the property and they're going to want to make sure their rent is paid and their deposit is paid. Also, the deposit is given back to the deceased's family. Now, in a situation that I was in, the family had contacted us at the property management agency to let us know that the deceased person had passed on, and they were going to do all they could to ensure that, you know, the situation, you know, didn't take a long time. We gave them access to the property. We spoke to them on a continual basis. We let them know how much rent was owing. We let them know how the person was within the property and all those kinds of things. And then when it came to giving them the deposit back, we were with DPS, beg your pardon, DPS deposit scheme. And what we had done was we contacted them and let them know that the person had deceased. They actually then ceased pretty much all communication with us. They had to then communicate with the deceased's family or estate. So once we'd given them that information, we then passed on all the deposit information to the deceased estate, and they were then able to get their deposit back. But there may obviously be, sometimes, unfortunately, it can be more than a month, can be 2 months in order for the property to be surrendered back to the landlord. So as a property manager, we're the mediators between, you know, the landlord and now the deceased's family. We need to do all we can to ensure that both sides are accommodated and are, it's a sensitive situation, but we need to make sure that both sides are comfortable and they both have what they need in order to make, you know, a resolution to this situation. Now, I may actually make another video to go to the ins and outs of dealing with, you know, specifically a deceased person's family, and, you know, how to go about dealing with them specifically, if they've got a periodic tenancy or if they've got an ongoing tenancy or if it's a single let property or house of multiple occupation, how you handle, you know, the family and the landlords, all, you know, all changes depending on the situation. But hopefully this is just giving you a little bit of information as to how to work with the family and how to prepare your agency to make sure that it's got all the information just in case someone does pass away. So please watch more of these videos because I record every single day, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe. If you got any information from today's video, please subscribe because I have so much more information to share. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.